Welcome back. My name is Zia, and this is Crypto Polaris. Today, we're going to talk about Metaplanet. You're probably wondering, what is that? Metaplanet is like MicroStrategy, or also known as Strategy, but they're based in Japan. So they are doing everything they can to be number two, number three Bitcoin holders as a company. Let's talk about this and let's dive right in. All right, guys. So this is Metaplanet. Yes, it has nothing to do with starships, galaxy, or anything like that. The company name is called Metaplanet. And they are based, as I said, in Japan. And we're going to go through all of these in detail. So let's dive right in and go right into it. Okay, so the agenda today has quite a few things, and I really want to go through this as quickly as possible. So stay with me because this is going to be very educational for everyone who have never heard of Metaplanet. And it just sounds an obscure name. What is Metaplanet? Who are they? Who is behind Metaplanet? Who is the founder and the CEO that is the driving force of Metaplanet? Because anytime you want to put any money behind stocks or crypto, what have you, you really need to know who is the guy or gal that's driving this forward. So we're going to get into that. And how are they raising money? What are the things that make them very similar to MicroStrategy? And I want to talk about that with you. Okay. How are they buying it? What is their purchase plan? Are they really like MicroStrategy? What are the differences? We'll talk a little bit about that. And I'm going to break down their valuation for you. And at the end, the price prediction by 2027 will shock you because it shocked me when I went into this whole calculation using a spreadsheet. And I don't really do price prediction just making it up. It has to make some mathematical sense and financial sense to be able to come up with a pricing model that I can live with. And again, these are pricing models for me to understand if I want to put my money into this. It is not a financial advice for you. It is more for me to learn and don't do exactly what I'm doing. Do your own research and then dive into it as you see fit. Let's get to it. Next. All right. What is Metaplanet? Now, right next to it is the symbol MTPLF. That is the American version of their ticker symbol. I put the American symbol that you can buy over the counter. It's like an ADR, American Depository Receipt. They actually trade in Japan Stock Exchange. So let me back up again and go back and explain to you what is Metaplanet. They were founded back in 1999. The company today, what Metaplanet does, is not what they were before. They were really founded to be nothing more than a hotel operator. So think of them as Marriott on a lower scale, or Holiday Inn, or Motel 8, that type. And that's really what their core business was, still is. But then around July of 2024, having gone through COVID and how hospitality businesses were tremendously affected because of COVID, they decided to pivot. And we will talk about why they made that decision, but it was primarily driven by the revenue went down because of COVID. And they needed a new way to generate revenue. So in July of 2024, they decided to use the playbook of MicroStrategy by Michael Saylor. And they dove in and they started buying Bitcoin using their corporate treasury. And they are also raising money. So I'll walk you through that. So as of a few days ago, they own now 11,111 BTC. These are auspicious Japanese auspicious numbers. That's why you see these odd numbers. Before that, they were owning 8,888. The number 8 is a lucky number in Asian culture, so that's where those numbers come from. But their goal is to get to 210,000 Bitcoin by 2027, and I'll walk you through what their plans are about that and also show you how they're going to buy them because you can't simply just go and buy. You need a lot of cash to be able to buy this. So, in order to do that, they are in the process of raising $5.4 billion to buy more Bitcoin. And they've also issued and raised $210 million from bond offerings. So, let's go into who is the guy that's driving this. Effectively, who is the Michael Saylor of Metaplanet? His name is Simon Jorovich. He's got a BA in applied mathematics from Harvard University. And from there, he went into work for Goldman Sachs. He then got into all sorts of entrepreneurial type of businesses around hospitality. And he's been founders and CEOs of various companies. But then came 2024, post COVID, and he really picked up the playbook from Michael Saylor and said, you know what? I can do the same thing what Michael Saylor is doing in the US based in Japan. And so it's all perfectly timed in Japan because people are really looking for an alternate type of equity investment. And they, Metaplanet, offer a unique way for people in Japan to invest where they get a lot more in return. And you will see those numbers in a few minutes. So that's really how Simon was able to convert or transform, I should say, Metaplanet from a hotel management type of company into a Bitcoin treasury company. And again, I want to emphasize that they still have their hotel business at the same time. All right. So, how are they funding Metaplanet? So, their plan is to buy 210,000 Bitcoin by 2027. And that really puts them as 1% of Bitcoin. As Bitcoin, there are only 21 million Bitcoins out there. So they want to get up to that 1% club. And in order to do that, they have this incremental way to move forward. All right. So by 2026, they want to get to 100,000 BTC. Now, mind you, they already have 11,000 plus BTC right now. And of course, this is their incremental plan. Nothing prevents them from accelerating all of these things. And I wouldn't be shocked that they have 100,000 BTC probably by early 2026, not by end of 2026. So keep that in mind as we get into the price prediction side of this. And they also have what they call 555 million plan. That means they're going to issue 555 million shares, equity shares, to raise the money that they need to be able to buy Bitcoin, just like what MicroStrategy is doing. Remember, MicroStrategy started with their 21 plus 21. Now they have 42 plus 42, which is 42 billion plus another 42 billion using two different instruments. Well, they're doing the same thing, only in Japan. All right. So, breakdown of their shares, as you can see, they have $1.6 billion already authorized. And we've gotten this all broken down, but there's a big chunk right there, 555 million, that's allocated to raise the money through this equity offering. So they are not planning on authorizing any more shares, but it's already out there, 1.6 billion shares. And I'm going to walk you through what it means for price prediction when we get to that spreadsheet in a few minutes. All right. As I said, they already own 11,000 plus Bitcoin. To the right, the chart, you can see there's a plan of how they plan on buying. So by end of 2025, they're saying they're going to have 30,000 shares. And then by end of 2026, 100,000. And by end of 2027, 210. And I'm actually going to use these numbers to be able to do the price prediction. I'm not going to use any aggressive numbers. I'm going to use their proposed numbers. We know, even Michael Saylor, he said it's going to take him 5 years to spend 42 billion. Well, he's going to be spending that in 2 years, right? So this is an aggressive plan that they have. Now, this Metaplanet is headquartered in Japan, but they are now opening an office and they've allocated $5 billion worth of money to be able to open their subsidiary to raise that type of capital. Another $5 billion they want to raise out of US market. So they're coming to Florida to set this up, and that's going to open up even more shares. So I think their ambition is to buy twice as much as 210,000 Bitcoins, okay? Now, moving on, the left chart, keeping up with strategy. Does this chart look familiar to you? This is just what Michael Saylor has been doing. He doesn't care the price of Bitcoin. He just keeps on buying and keeps on buying. So this is actually Metaplanet. And on the chart, you see these yellow orange dots. That's exactly when he buys. And he's buying religiously, just like Michael Saylor. And as of yesterday, their share price was $11. You can see the rise of their share price, right? Back in May, early May of this year, their share was a little less than $2. And they went as high as $15.50. Now they've settled around $11. And now this is an important chart, and this correlates to, if you're familiar with how MicroStrategy uses multiple on net asset value or NAV. So the black chart is their market cap, and the orange chart is their net asset value. So you can see the delta, right? It's about 6.1 times their net asset value is their market cap. 6.1 is right now multiple of their net asset value. I liken this to how Apple, Google, and all of these guys have price to earnings multiple. In the world of Bitcoin Treasury, we use multiples on net asset value. And typical comfortable net asset values are around 3.5 to 4. Early companies can be 5, 6, 7, 8. And then as they stabilize, it gets to 3 to 4. Okay. And I think MicroStrategy is sitting around 3 right now, if I'm not mistaken. But Metaplanet is sitting around 6.1 as of yesterday. I just wanted to show you a couple of numbers here. Look on the upper right-hand side. It says 6.01. That's the MNAV, and we've talked about what MNAV is. So it's a multiple on net asset value. That's today's MNAV, 6.01, and we will be using this in the price prediction in a few seconds. And the other big chart that I want you to pay special attention right now, for each share, okay, you're getting 0.013 Bitcoin. Yes, it's done on per 1,000 shares. So per 1,000 shares, your Bitcoin ownership is 0.0134. And of course, as they keep buying more and more Bitcoin, this number is going to get larger and larger and larger. As a matter of fact, when they get to 210,000 Bitcoins or more, this is going to get closer to 1. And that's the exciting part in terms of how the share price is going to go up. So let's dive right in to the price prediction. And I'm really excited to show you the Excel model here. Okay, guys, so here's the price prediction, and this is my Excel price model. And I've given it a lot of thought to this, and I want to quickly walk you through this. It won't take too long. So it's broken down into the current price, which is as of today. Then we're going to look at end of 2025. We're going to look at end of 2026 and end of 2027. And if you look at the very first row, which is the BTC, how many BTCs they own? Currently, they own 11,000 plus, as I've mentioned before. But their plan is to own 30,000 by 25 and 100,000 by end of 2026 and 210,000 by 2027. And we'll use these numbers to see what we get on the price prediction. So in red, I have the BTC price, and also in red is multiple NAV. And these numbers can be changed to make a difference in the share price, okay? So let's just say it's current, and the current share price is $11, and current MNAV is, I rounded up to 6.1. So when they buy 30,000 by end of the year, and let's assume the Bitcoin price is 200,000, then their net asset value, which is really the multiplication of these two, gets to $6 billion. And then your market cap becomes $24 billion. How does that happen? That's driven by MNAV. So remember, current MNAV is 6. So I'm dialing it down now. So being more conservative. And you get that $24 billion market cap, which then can be calculated backwards to give you a share price, which is $40 per share. Guys, that's 4 times the current value, as you can see. So let's play this out for 2026. They say they're going to have 100,000 BTC by then. Let's assume by end of 2026, the price of Bitcoin is 425,000. Then their net asset value is, yes, 42 billion. And their market cap, using only 3 MNAV, their market cap is 127 billion. 127 billion. So then their share price becomes $213 per share, which is now 19 times from today's share price. Now let's do 2027. They say they're going to have 210,000 Bitcoin, but I submit to you, I think they're going to have closer to 300, if not a lot more than Bitcoin by end of 2027. But let's use their conservative number. And let's say the share price by end of 2027, meaning the Bitcoin price, is 775,000. Look at their net asset value, 162 billion. That means their market cap, and now I use even more conservative MNAV, 2.5. you get $406 billion market cap, which means their per share value is $681. Guys, that is 62 times more than the current stock price of $11. Okay? Guys, this is not financial advice. This is my modeling, my calculation, and you guys do your own research. This is not financial advice. And if you like this, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on the notification. And please send me some comments. And I look forward to doing the next video. Thank you.